right to give. Don't ever take it.
Hello, my name is H.E. Roselle, and I'm the author of the Benton County series. And this is the backstory on 6 of the short stories in Sundown on Benton County. I'm a little hoarse. Artie's Hot Spot. In Artie's Hot Spot, Artie is a reoccurring character in the series, and she has decided to open a drag show in Birmingham on 22nd Street in the entertainment district. And when word gets out that there's going to be a drag show there in Birmingham, a group of malcontents get together and plan to attack the performers. And the leader, Drake, sets the date for the attack for opening night. Now, when the haters, most of whom live at home in mama's basement, eating little Debbie cakes and being angry all day, what they hadn't planned on is that these performers, a lot of them go to the gym every day, and a lot of them work. They have physical jobs. They are out working. This is just a sideline. So the attack doesn't go as they had planned. And who is Drake anyway? That's the hook. Who is this Drake that plans to attack the cross-dressers? Now you may wonder, why would that old man write a story about cross-dressers? Well, I don't like bullies. And today, the most bullied and despised segment of society are cross-dressers and sometimes gays. And so that just irritates me. So I'm standing up against bigotry in any form. Snapper. Now, the writing of Snapper was different than anything I've ever written. Usually I come up with a storyline and I agonize over it for a while, and a lot of times I discard it. But if I think it's worthy, then I start doing my research and writing rough drafts and plotting it out, and it takes a lot of time. Well, Snapper, I woke up one morning with this idea. I think I'd kind of dreamed a little of it. And I woke up with this idea, and by 10 o'clock, I was through with the first draft. And you may can tell it. It's a story about a young girl who everyone believes is living in a fantasy world. But by the end of the story, though, you'll see that she's living with a real monster. And how she slays that monster is the most ingenious way possible. Semi-paroled. To understand the backstory on semi-paroled, you first need to read how semi story got started in extreme intervention. Simi commits a terrible crime. And then, where he reappears in Sins of the Few, he has decided, with the help of a friend, they decide that the best thing he can do is to admit to his crime, and he goes to prison. And there's one section of that story where they're at a fish camp, where they're agonizing over what to do. And in that scene at the fish camp, I think I come closer to taking this image that I have here in my head and get it on paper in such a way that the reader can see the exact same thing that I was imagining. And that's a good feeling. It's hard to do, and I'm not much good at it, but that's what real authors can do. They can take you and put you in a place that they are imagining. Now, I got the name Simi from a cousin of mine who was, Simi's dead, who was a polar opposite to this flawed character. And Simi liked to call me at about 4 o'clock in the morning, where anybody had any sense is still sleeping, but he and I were both awake, and so we'd socialize sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning on the telephone. And I told him, I said, Simi, I'm writing this book and I've got this character, and I told him the embarrassing details about the character. And I said, I was wanting to name him Simi. Do you have a problem with that? And Simi, he didn't have any trouble with ego or his masculinity or anything. And he said, no problem. So I got to use the name Simi. In Monolith. Remember that movie, American Graffiti? Anyone who grew up in Atmore, Alabama, or any one of 1,000 other small towns across America in the 50s and 60s can relate to that movie. And it was mandatory for Escambia County students on Friday and Saturday nights to get in our cars and to ride endlessly around and around Buster Joyner's Dairy Bar, just like in the movie. So I've tried to recapture the mood of those nights in 1964, 65 in the writing of this story, Monolith. And I also added a hint of another classic from that era, from the 50s, The Blob. So you got two old classic movies kind of mingling. So how do various groups in America, people we know, how do they react to strange and frightening events? Predictably, all too predictably. And in Monolith, they react predictably. So let's make a plan. If we get attacked by giant ants, or giant spiders, or giant rats, or the Walking Dead, we'll join together, we'll fight them, and we'll kill them. And the problem is usually toxic chemical waste seeping into the water supply, or maybe atomic leakage, or maybe an alien virus, and we've got to fight them. But if a flying saucer comes whirling in and they don't attack us, then let's just try to be friends. You know, we don't have to hate everything that we don't understand. We don't have to hate everything that we don't understand. Kind of gives the moral of that story. And I hope before the flying saucers get here, maybe we'll have a new administration. The Hunter. When I was a teenager, I pictured myself as a hunter. In the movies back then, if the hero saw a mountain lion or a tiger or a lion or a charging rhinoceros or a crocodile, he'd just take his gun and shoot it, wouldn't think a thing about it. Tarzan would jump in there with his knife and kill him. And the animals were dispensable. We just didn't think, that animals were that important. And predators, the animals that kill, well, look, we had to kill them. That was our mindset. It still is today for some people. On one end of the spectrum, you have people who delight still today in killing anything. They see something, they got a gun, they want to shoot it. Even predators like a fox or a bobcat, they shoot it. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got vegetarians and some Buddhists and some Hindus who really value the sanctity of life. Now, since I still eat meat killed by other folks in packing houses, I don't have any moral high ground in the story. But like the hunter in this story, I don't believe I would get much joy out of killing some magnificent, free animal and watching the life go out of his life and that I have killed for sport. Now, I dare you to read. Now, come on, I'm daring you to read a book, Tender is the Flesh. They may have made a Spanish movie out of that. Tender is the Flesh, written by Agustina Bastorica. Get that book and read it. It'll change the way you think about killing things. If you can't say anything nice, when we first started making these movies, I thought that I wouldn't want to use any of this newfangled artificial intelligence. I'd stay away from that stuff. But after my cousin, Austin, introduced me to ChatGPT, I realized its potential. It is great for research, and so far I haven't seen any bias either way in there. It just gets like the old Dragnet radio show. It's the facts, nothing but the facts. So in this story, the two protagonists in If You Can't Say Anything Nice are based on my wife and myself. And they are on a mission to settle a score. For the thumbnail image, we wanted to use an aggressive picture of my wife. So we made this picture. And then we thought, why not use old Chat and make a cartoon image of that picture? So I uploaded the picture and I asked Chat to take a long look into my wife's heart and soul and to render that picture capturing her true essence. And this is what we got. Well, just teasing. My wife's really a pretty good old girl, and she's got a good heart. So I can't say too much about this story without revealing the plot, but I will leave you with this warning. Be careful how you criticize people. Thank you for watching. Sundown on Benton County, a book of short stories, is available at Amazon or Books A Million or anywhere else that you buy your books. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.
Will you take part in my life, my love?